Do you have your toilet paper go over the roll or under the roll?
Uh, there's only one answer to that question.
Well, there's two possibilities, but I agree, only one correct answer.
It's over the roll.
Oh, thank goodness. I get infuriated when it's under.
Yeah, what kind of a psychopath pulls it from the behind of it?
Hello, Jen.
Hi. Sorry, did I mess up a thing that would have been a good segment?
No, it was done. You rescued us.
Yes.
Hey! Oh. Let's try that again.
Okay.
3,
Hey,
2,
oh.
1, go.
Hey, let's go. Welcome to the show. This is attempt number 3 to get it started.
Yeah.
We're all excited to be here. We've got Jen and Brandon, the usuals.
Uh-huh.
Hello.
Did it rain at your house, Brandon?
It's been sprinkling on and off.
I was debating to turn my sprinklers on or not. I decided not to conserve water, and it barely even rained, and now I regret it. My grass will die, my house will look terrible, all
Is
because...
that your first watering of the year or something?
Yeah.
I see.
Have you had
I think
yours
you're good.
on?
I haven't turned mine on yet.
Oh, okay. And Jen, you think it's okay?
Yeah, you're fine. You're conserving. You're being good.
I don't think it's okay, just because of the temperatures.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll sleep tonight, I guess.
Good.
Yeah.
What riveting conversation. Did you aerate that lawn?
I did, as a matter of fact.
I feel like that's a hoax.
It's not a hoax. It allows things to get down to the, I guess, couple inches down to the roots of the grass.
Nope. My dad never once aerated his lawn, and it was lush and green.
That was a different time.
Oh.
Nowadays it needs to be aerated.
I
The
don't know.
chemicals need to seep into the hard ground.
I feel like there's a few things that are hoaxes in this world. And one of those is aerating, and the other one is red velvet cake.
No! I
I
love
love
me
red
some red
velvet
velvet cake.
No. What is it?
What's wrong
what
with you?
It's a red cake. It doesn't have any flavor.
It's delicious. Red velvet.
Yeah.
No.
Are you? You're mad about it being red?
Ooh, look at this red cake. It must be better than usual. Nope, it's just a cake.
It's delicious. And have you had
It
the
is
red velvet
delicious.
cheesecake at the Cheesecake Factory?
Well, that's a different story altogether. That's a cheesecake.
Okay. I
Yeah,
know,
well,
but then the
This
red
is
velvet
Ralph's
Red velvet is
makes
like
it better.
chocolate. When I asked somebody, what is the flavor of red velvet? Oh, it's like a weak chocolate. Like, then why do you want
No.
what weak chocolate for? Get a chocolate
'Cause
chocolate.
Then with the cream cheese frosting, I think is the combo that just makes it all good.
You just put cream cheese frosting on whatever you want that has more flavor.
Well, that does make everything better, yeah.
There you go. See?
Wow. Well done, Jen. You were able to spin that outrageous statement into agreeing about cream cheese frosting.
I do like cream cheese frosting on all things.
I think red velvet is delicious.
It is.
And I'm glad that it's starting to own a piece of the market to take away from vanilla and chocolate.
If I did a taste test with you guys, you'd be like, I can't even taste this one. What does this taste like? A little bit of kind of like a weak chocolate. Then you would have a real chocolate cake. You'd be like, ooh, this is good. This is way good.
So you're giving us in this taste test a chocolate cake. So we just know one of them's red velvet, and you're just giving us
I'd give
pieces
you
of cake.
pieces of cake. I mean, that sounds like a fun thing to do with cream
I
cheese
do want to
frosting
do
on
this.
all of them.
Yeah.
Cream cheese frosting, the same frosting on all of them, and you'd be like, "Ugh, what is this one? This one's no good." And then you would know that was the red velvet, so you would fake it and say, "Yes, the red velvet we love."
I feel pretty confident being able to pick out red velvet.
Yeah,
I think
because
so.
it's the least delicious.
No, because oh, whatever.
The color that makes everybody like it so much. I will admit that the red velvet looks amazing. Like it looks more delicious because it's red.
See, that's part of the experience too, don't you think? You eat first with your eyes.
Oh.
That makes sense now that you say it.
I feel like I would eat first with my nostrils when I walk in.
That's good too. So you smell the cream cheese, you see the red velvet, and you're like, yeah. And it's a good experience.
This is exactly why pickles are the very worst. They don't look desirable. They smell horrid. Why would anyone want to eat them or anything? Pickles. Blah. I hate pickles.
You don't like the taste of vinegar on a soggy cucumber?
No, see, and then when you describe it, that even sounds. Ugh. Hate it. All right, Jen's got a story she's going to share with us. We're going to sidestep our food conversation.
Okay.
Okay, so imagine this. A summer afternoon. The air is heavy with heat and a sense of foreboding.
Wait, are you reading this?
No, I was trying to prep this good.
Okay.
So this happened a few years ago. So that was the afternoon. I'm driving along in my car on my lunch break. I find myself on a road that I've never been on before.
On purpose?
And I look, I don't know, whatever my destination was, this was the road that I was traveling on, and then I was like, I've never been back here. And I noticed there's this overpass and this bridge kind of wall over some main road. I don't know if it was the freeway or just a big road, but there's this homeless looking man sitting on the ledge of this bridge, like with his legs out over towards what would be dropping off into the road of traffic. So I was like, that looks weird. Like, I'm kind of nervous. I hope he's going to be okay. Like, is he going to try to jump? Like, it was odd. I just did not have a good feeling. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do about this. So I was like, well, I'll go to where he's going. If I come back, if he's still there, I'll like talk to him or something. So I come back, and so he's still there. So I pull over and I like roll down my window, and I don't know what to say, because I'm like, do you say like, don't jump? And I was like, what if that scares him? And he's like, I don't know.
And then he's like,
yeah. So I was just like, I'm like, excuse me. And he turns, and I didn't know what to say. I was like, do you need a ride? And he like goes, yeah, that'd be great. And just like swings over all happy and like comes over and gets in my car. And so I'm like, what am I doing? So I'm like, okay, where do you need to go? And he's much more perky than I would imagine someone who seemed suicidal a moment before. And but he's like, yeah, so you could take me to this group home or something. So I'm like, okay. So I'm driving, and then I notice, I'm like, he's got tattoos that are not like happy tattoos. These are like prison tattoos. And I'm just realizing, I think I've just done the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life, and I'm gonna die. And if he doesn't kill me, my mom is going to, if he doesn't finish the job. So we're driving to the group home, and he's like, hey, so can I get your number? And I was like, no, I have a boyfriend. And he's like, okay. And so I'm like, because I just picked him up, so I'm sure he's all sorts of confused. He doesn't know that I am completely just oblivious to the world. And so we try. I drop him off. He's like, hey, thanks. I'm like, okay. And I was just shaking the whole rest of the way back to work. And so
Wow.
have you guys ever picked up a homeless guy before?
I have not, and it looks like Brandon was so against it he
Oh,
hung up.
good.
We got out of the We'll try to reconnect to Brandon here. Wow.
Okay.
No, I have never thought once to offer somebody a ride. To
I
stranger.
know, right? I wasn't gonna intend it. It just happened. I didn't know what else to say to him. I wanted to get him
But
off
it-
the ledge.
And that is very nice of you to be concerned about this man. What? Oh my. Oh, Brandon, did you hop back on?
Yes, I'm back.
Were
You
so
hated my
scared by
story
her
that bad?
story?
I thought anymore. She's ridiculous. I can't even be on the same call as someone that
No.
would do such a thing.
This is why I need you guys to take care of me.
Oh,
Look how
God.
useless I am on my own. So don't do
It
that.
disconnected.
Don't-
Well. I'm back.
So I should not offer
Oh.
homeless people rides anymore.
No.
I feel like of all the things you could have asked, that's like the number one thing you shouldn't have.
I
I mean, there's so many things you can say. Say, hey, are you okay?
Well, that just seemed weird. Like,
You. Instead, you say, get
I
in
mean,
here. with
even
me."
just don't jump.
You could have yelled, jump.
no,
Jump. Call this bluff.
no. I've heard people do that to people on building ledges. That's just horrible. They should jump if we live in a world where people are going to yell jump to them. Sheesh.
But it snaps them out of it because then they're like, wait, somebody's telling me to jump?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I wouldn't recommend
No.
it. It's not good advice to tell somebody to jump. If they're
right?
thinking-
Right.
No. So I was like, I don't know. I had to get him off the ledge. I didn't know how.
Say, poop or
That was
get
one of those stories. I have another.
Make up your mind.
No, you want my other story where if
Yeah.
this would have ended badly, you're like, what was she thinking? So I've got another story of that so my friend turns 21 and she wants to go somewhere where she needs to show her ID. So she decides she wants to go to the Vortex. I don't know if you remember the Vortex, but its tagline was "Get caught up in a whirlwind of sweat and passion."
Yeah.
And you think I'm sweet. I am like a total tramp compared to what this roommate was like.
Oh,
So I was like, are
Doesn't
you
sound like it if her goal is to go somewhere
You're
where
picking
she has to show
You've been
that.
on the side of the road. You're,
Yeah.
I know, right? So I am way skinkier than we had thought. So
yeah.
I was like, you sure you want to go there? And she's like, I was like, we could just go to a normal bar. She's like, no, it'll be fun. We can dance. It'll be a fun club. We can go there.
Was she planning
So-
on drinking because it was her 21st birthday?
No, she just wanted to
No,
be able to
remember,
be
she's an angel.
to get, she just wanted to be able to get in somewhere she
Oh,
couldn't
okay.
get because she's 21 now, so she wants to show her ID.
Right. Okay.
So we go down with we do have a skinky roommate.
Oh.
And so,
With the girl.
Okay.
Show you.
So we go to the Vortex and it's around Halloween time, so there's like costumes, so it's extra kind of people are being extra wild, right? Because that Halloween vibe is going on. So I am just hating life. And so then the guy who runs it, they're going to have a costume contest. So he's like, hey, can you help me? I need to unplug this cord to do the spotlight. So will you hold this flashlight on the stairs to keep it safe? And I am just so grateful to have something employed to do. So I don't have to be amongst
Uh-huh.
the revelry of the sweat and passion going on. So he does that, and so then it's over, and so he's like, hey, thanks, I've got some free passes to give to you for helping out. Just follow me. And so I'm like, okay. So I follow him and we go back into the bowels of the vortex and on one of those old
Ooh.
kind of like rickety elevators where you pull the gate thing. And as soon as he pulls the
Wow.
gate closed, I am like, I have just trapped myself in the bowels of the vortex with a strange man. Like there are
Let the
stories
sweaty and
about like,
passion begin.
I know. And so he looks and he could see the terror on my face, I think, and is like, it's just down, it's our office, it's just gonna be right here but I'm like, okay, so he grabs me the passes and then I'm like, I never want to come back here again. And so I just throw them away. I was like, I don't know
Well,
what to
the
do.
funny thing
And
about
then my
these
skate,
stories is that they aren't, nothing actually bad happened. It's
I know,
needs for people.
it's what
You
I
know,
know. But then when you read in the story, like, had I been raped or murdered in any of these scenarios, you would have been like, well, she invited the guy in the car. Well, what was she doing in the back of the
Well,
bowels of the
yeah.
vortex? What did she think was
what
going to happen?
what if that guy would have fallen down because he didn't have a light to shine and broke his neck? Or what if that homeless guy would have actually jumped off the bridge because he didn't have a ride to the group home? It was all because of you that 2 lives were saved, and you put
Right.
yourself in
See,
danger. So what's the moral of
let's
the
go with
story? We don't know. Put yourself in danger. You
that.
might save a life, but you might lose yours.
Yes, there you go.
That's what heroes
Yep.
do. That's what
Thank you.
heroes do. Well, there you go. I think, though, if you're going to write these into a novel, you should have some kind of crazy ending, though. That's not the real ending.
No, it's always me.
And it was fun.
It's gonna always end just like, and then it was fine, but it was scary for a minute.
Then the tattoo man gave me a piece of red velvet cake that was perfectly
And he
normal.
turned
and I
out
said,
to
"Thank
be
you."
my fairy godfather. Granted me a wish.
No, that's gonna teach children to pick up homeless people.
Oh. Yeah.
Jen, you had mentioned to me earlier that you finally learned what being a Karen means.
Yes.
What does it actually mean?
So apparently it is middle-aged, which is me. It's basically me, except if I were a mom and had a blonde bob. And so a woman who is like wants to see your manager and is gonna, I guess, demanding and critical and is like,
Okay.
let me talk to your manager.
Like in a retail store when
So
they think they should be getting a sale price and they didn't get it.
I get, yes.
Fighting with the teenager behind the counter. Let me see
Yes,
your manager.
exactly.
Okay.
Yes, you're being a Karen.
Okay.
Huh.
So are there stuff maybe that's old news segment, but I just found out what that was.
I had no idea what it meant, so I was curious.
Have you heard that
Okay.
bandied about lately? You're being such a Karen right now, or
Yeah,
Were
somebody
you
on
told
Facebook.
that?
No, somebody on Facebook was like, I don't mean to be a Karen, but
oh,
and I
I
was
see.
like, what is that? So I asked my cute millennial downstairs neighbor. I was like, what is this? She let me know.
Oh,
Darn it, the millennial knew what
moved
a
into your new
Karen meant.
place yet?
Yes. No,
What'd you
so
say, Brandon?
he asked if I've moved yet.
Oh, okay.
I
Not
get the
yet.
keys like May 5th, I think,
Oh,
is the plan. I haven't heard much though.
okay. Well, so it's your current neighbor downstairs, not a new
Yes,
neighbor. Okay.
correct. I don't make
Are you gonna
friends that
try to?
quickly. Within a week, are you kidding me?
Drive up to people and
Yeah, we would. We were surprised to learn you don't. Are you planning on having like roommates in your condo, or is it just going to be all to yourself?
I think I need a roommate to start out because I'm going to be strapped. And so my friend who's back from the Peace Corps,
oh,
they had to leave early too, so she's back and like, hey, if you need a place, I will have a spare room. So
Darn it. I was hoping that could be a news segment where we could bring on interviewees. We could try to help you.
that'd be good.
I guess the Peace Corps lady wins.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Well, Brandon, you got any exciting news to share?
Well, no. Do I?
Oh,
Did I tell you any exciting news?
no, you didn't.
Huh.
But I thought this was something interesting to talk about per Jen. Um, have you, Brandon, done any illegal thing that you've not been caught for that you want to share?
I mean, speeding all the time, but I've been caught for that. But
As a teenage Brandon running around
I got
town causing havoc.
for my illegal activities when I was a teenager.
No.
You did get caught?
Uh-huh.
Oh, what'd you do?
Me and my 12-year-old friends were running a pretty successful shoplifting ring, and we got caught. I think I was 13, actually. So
Still could be tried as an adult.
yeah. So we
No, the statute of limitations is good.
we were doing a lot of shoplifting, and then one day we got caught at the Food for Less. I was taking a cap gun. It was a sweet one too. So
Did you have like a strategy? Like, would you talk beforehand? Like, all right, we're gonna hit this Food for Less. You cause a distraction. I'm gonna get the cap gun and
no,
walk
there's no
out, or
distractions
did you just-
because we just walk in and take what we want and then walk out.
How did you get caught?
Just one of the undercover store guys. There's guys that just walk around, I guess, and then they caught us. And then they called the cops.
Is that real?
What's that? Yeah.
They have people that just are wandering around in civilian clothes.
And as I was walking out, I felt like the jig was up, and I started going, and I went behind a pillar, and I threw the cap gun down. Well, I didn't have anything on me, but my friends caught them and pulled me in too. But then they went and found what I had thrown away. Said, "Did you throw it behind the pillar?"
Then they fingerprinted it and showed up.
Well, they pulled us back into the security room and had us waiting there for our parents and for the police to come, I guess. But I was cracking wise the whole time because I was nervous, and my friends are like, "Man, will you just shut up?" So it was not a great experience.
What did your parents do?
Well, they were very disappointed in me. For one thing, that's what they say. Like, I'm very disappointed in you. So
We taught
you better. But they had already gone through this with literally all of my brothers and sisters as well. So it wasn't a new thing for them to have a child on the, living a life of crime. But I never stole anything after that again. I was done.
You learned your lesson. Good deal.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your parents now are proud of you, or that you've still disappointed
No, every
them?
time they look at me, I can tell they're thinking he would have been the golden son if he hadn't just tainted his reputation with that shoplifting incident.
It's funny how, I hope Jen falls under this stereotype I'll throw, but I feel like so many people go through like their kleptomaniac phase where they're just like stealing stuff left and right. The one I remember doing was, well, I guess two now that I think about it. One, and these were all as a child or a teenager. You know how they have like at Winco or whatever, like all those bins with like
it's not free.
Or
loose.
What's it called? No, but like loose, that's what it is. The free candy. You just lift up the lid.
Yeah, is that what it's for? It's just free.
It's free. Loose candy, that's the term. Yeah, of course, stole so many of those. Every time you walk by, you just pop them in your mouth. But as a kid, not now.
I do that with grapes and I'm just kidding. I don't. I see people doing it. And I think you're disgusting. Why are you eating that?
And heads of lettuce. Heads of lettuce.
Take a
you just
bite
rip
out of
off
it.
thing and stuff it in your mouth. And then growing up, like once every couple of years, we'd go to like SeaWorld, Disneyland, and all that. And I remember going to SeaWorld and seeing all these like toys and stuff that I wanted. My parents said no to, of course, so I ended up
Yeah.
stealing it. And when I got home, it's funny how you always think like your parents have no idea, but they of course do because you don't have money, you didn't buy it. Like they know all of what they got you. So they opened my suitcase and I just have all these like magnets is all I could fit in my pocket. So I stole SeaWorld magnets for names like Karen or you know, I got a Brandon magnet because there was never like a Spencer magnet. And they were just like, "Oh, where'd you get these?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I got them from SeaWorld." And they made me like mail them back and write a letter of apology for stealing these magnets and crap.
Yeah.
So
those are good
stealing just
parents.
wasn't worth it.
I found so I was like fined like a huge amount of money for the $2 cap gun for my or whatever. And I later found and like my dad put me on like some payment plan to pay him back, but I later found like saved on our computer a letter that he wrote to like the court system about how like this isn't a punishment for a 13-year-old but a punishment for the parents basically, and like how is the kid supposed to come up with this type of money and all this sort of stuff. And he got the fine lowered to like by like half.
Wow.
So like he went in further onto that, and I wonder if that was part of like him being angry at me and the system at the same time. He was able to work it, so that was good. But
they could have put you on a work crew. I used to work at juvie court.
Yeah, juvie court.
Juvie court.
And then you tried to pick those kids up to, it's like, hey, do you guys need rides home or?
Yeah, I was like, hey, maybe. Pedophilia was not one of my. It's not one of my crimes.
I didn't say that. You were just giving them rides.
You can't even say that to a kid, though.
You haven't got.
Not anymore.
Hey, little kid, you want some candy?
Right.
So.
Jen, did you do anything?
I did shoplifting I did when I was 5 because we would walk home and my friend always had money and I never had money. I was poor. And so a 7-Eleven was on our way home from school. So she'd always stop and she'd buy something. I could never buy anything. And so one time I just wanted this piece of candy. And so I took it and she paid for hers and I walked out and by the next parking lot felt so guilty. I had to turn around and go back. But I wasn't brave enough to like face the cash person, and so I just opened the door and like threw it in the comic book section and ran.
Here's your candy bag.
I took this. I'm sorry. But my real crime that I didn't get caught for was in college. So you remember these rebellious college days? We went up and there was this supposed haunted nunnery. And so, I'd always heard about this. People go to the haunted nunnery. So these guys, we went one time and then I see there's this no trespassing sign. And I was like, oh, wait, like there's these big fences and stuff. I was like, you guys, like apparently we're not supposed to be here. And they're like, yeah, that's what we do. So we climbed the fence. And so we were going over and there's these lights and they had us convince, I don't know, dumb boys. And dumb me for following. They're like, I bet they're motion sensor. We throw snowballs past them. It might turn off because that always happens. And so then accidentally, because my aim wasn't so good, I threw the snowball and I broke the light. So technically, I am a criminal trespasser and a destructor of property. And I did not get caught.
You make up for it in your community service.
Yes. Well, I did then later. This is embarrassing. I did try to mail some money then like years later because it has weighed on my conscience for so long. And so I was like, back a while, like years ago, I broke your life. But it returned to me. Apparently, the address is wrong, so I donated it to another church.
Oh, God.
Oh my.
I'm just not a good criminal, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, Brandon, with us and all this, do you have any words of wisdom for us to help ease our conscience of our illegal activity?
Well, I spent this weekend cleaning out my garage, and it felt so good to get something done that we've been putting off for a long time. And I found a quote from Pablo Picasso that said, only put off the things until tomorrow, or only put off till tomorrow the things you're willing to die left undone.
Ooh.
I think, what if I died like right today? What would I be like washing my underwear? That would be so sad if I died and I had dirt underwear. But there's so many things that you should be getting done and you don't do it, and it feels great. And a lot of things that I've found during this quarantine is that I've taken care of take about 10 minutes, and I've just left it there for months not doing this task or whatever, and it only takes 10 minutes, but I'll spend an hour and a half sitting on the couch playing a game on my iPad when I could accomplish something. So
you could finish it in 10 minutes and then play for almost
an hour and a half. Exactly.
Yeah.
Still, you can have your cake and eat it too. Just
the problem with me saying this is that I'm probably not really going to change my life habits, and then my wife is going to listen to the podcast like, I heard you say that you're going to do more things. Like, no, I'm not.
No, that was just for the podcast.
That's podcast, Brandon. That's the beef talking. That's
it's just for the pod, babe. Just for the pod.
Anyway, but it does feel good to get things accomplished, and you should try to do those and think about those things that you have been putting off, that if you were to pass away, you'd be sad that you never accomplished those things. There you go.
That's true. That's good advice.
Words
of wisdom.
There you go.
Now you know.
Well, I gotta. Now you know. I like it. All right, I got a joke for you as we wrap up this podcast. I haven't given a joke for a while, but I thought this one was real funny. You ready?
Yes.
What's the difference between the people in Dubai and the people in Abu Dhabi?
I don't know.
Abu Dhabi.
The people in Dubai don't like the Flintstones, but the people in Abu Dhabi do.
Abu Dhabi do.
Abu Dhabi
I don't
do.
know about that one.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Life LOL. Go ahead and check us out on our podcast. That's what you're listening to right now. On our Instagram page at life.lol.podcast. And until next week, we hope all your dreams come true. Okay, bye.